Hey guys, I wanted to make a few suggestions for how to read book chapters efficiently in a doctorate program. Oftentimes you are assigned multiple chapters in each of your courses, and if you're taking multiple courses, that can add up to hundreds of pages every week. And as my class is a reading intensive course, I wanted to offer some strategies. As an example, I'm going to use a supplemental reading that I've assigned to you from week 4. It's chapter 4 of the Glands book. It's chapter 4 of the Green Text book. So when I have a book chapter, the first thing that I like to do is to scroll to the very bottom. And when I get to the bottom, oftentimes there'll be a summary. And that summary will orient me to the chapter and what are the main take-home points that the author thought it was most important for me to get out of the reading. After I do that, the next thing I do is I go through the chapter and I look at any diagrams and figures that they might have, and I look at the headings. By looking at the headings, by looking at the diagrams, I'm starting to get a feel for what is this chapter about. If the author is going to go through the trouble of creating a figure or offsetting information in a table, that's an indicator of something I should pay attention to rather than skip over. So I'll do that. And then after I do that, I'll go back into each section and read the topic sentences of that section. Upon reading the topic sentences of that section, looking at the figures and tables associated with that section, I can usually get a sense of what's important for me to know, and I can jot down on the side of the page or on a separate piece of paper, however I want to take notes, what's the take home from that section. And I repeat that process for every section of the book chapter. And the only time I read the entire section is if I am unable to summarize in a few words the take-home points of that section. If I'm unable to do that, I'll go read it word for word. Oftentimes, the word-for-word reading happens when I don't have that foundational knowledge of the topic. If I have some foundation, if I can apply it to something I learned perhaps in my master's program or from my work, then it's quicker for me to skim. If it's new information, I'm going to probably have to take more time to really understand it. And that means probably reading word for word of that section. Some sections are a review, and I can go quicker. Other sections may be new information. So that's a strategy that I use. I hope that's helpful for you. Another strategy that I might use if I'm not reading just for general comprehension, if I'm reading to answer a specific question that I need to pull out of the chapter, is I'll write down that question. And then I skim the chapter just to find the answer to that question. So that's a different way of reading, right? If you need to find out, for example, what is a predisposing factor, then you can scroll down until you get to the information about predisposing factors. You can always use the search find to find that as well, if you happen to be familiar enough with the keywords to get to the section and information you need to extract out. But that's a different way of reading than for general comprehension. But both strategies are valid. And in either strategy, what you want to do is to first think about, what do I know about this topic? What do I need to know about this topic? And then, what is the author telling me about this topic? And can I write and summarize that in a few sentences? If you can do that, you're going to do well, and you're not going to have to read every single word. You'll be able to move through the literature a bit quicker. I hope this helps. If you have more questions, happy to discuss it with you.